It's been a wild week for Switch fans, as many people were hoping to get tickets for the Switch 2 experiences in LA, Dallas, and New York, and it doesn't look like very many tickets were given out. Luckily for myself, I don't know how I swung it, but I got one. So we're going to be headed to New York to give you guys the latest on Switch 2, get a hands-on experience. But before even all of that, it looks like we might be getting a Nintendo Switch Direct this next week potentially, and it would imagine to have something in the month of February, but there's a couple of things going on in the next week or so that has some people talking about a potential direct hitting next week. So we got to talk about all of this. So before we hop into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like this video so you guys are kept up to date with everything going on here at Trendtendo. We are trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the time Switch 2 comes out. So if you enjoy this type of stuff, hit that button and let's dive in. Now, as I mentioned, there's a couple of things happening next week that has people talking about a potential direct during the very first week of February. Now, February is a month that Nintendo typically has done a direct, and there's been a lot of sources that have come out already stating that even though Nintendo has said they're going to do an April direct, don't be surprised to see something in February as a swan song of sorts for Nintendo Switch. Now, Nate the Hate has said he still expects to see a Nintendo Direct in February, even when he broke the news that the Switch 2 was going to get revealed that week. We got PH Brazil, who's also doubling down, saying that they expect to see a Nintendo Direct in February as well. So those things, I think, just kind of help back it up. We've got some credible people that have talked and given us some good information recently. They're saying to still expect it, so I'm going to expect something. And even if you look at the release schedule for Nintendo at this point, I think that speaks for itself. We have Xenoblade Chronicle X in March. That's it. That's all we know about right now. So we know Nintendo's going to have to give us some sort of roadmap for the last couple of months of Nintendo Switch. We expect to see the Switch 2, launch probably in that April, May, June, somewhere in there. April probably not, May maybe, June maybe, it's probably in somewhere in those months. But until we get there, Nintendo needs to give us some sort of roadmap, and we expect to see the Switch still get support. There's 140 some odd Nintendo million Switches out there. They're going to still support the Switch, so they need to give us some more of a roadmap of what that looks like going forward. Now, there's a couple of things coming up, as I've said, that make it look like it could potentially be this next week rather than sometime later in the month. Now, we've got this good information. Let's dial it in a little bit more and look at a specific week. And next week, like I said, there's a couple of things going on. First up, we've got a Nintendo shareholders meeting on February 4th. Now, this is not necessarily a given that we would get a direct before or after, but typically we do see some stuff happen very close because the shareholders are going to want to know. There's going to be questions. So sometimes if they do a direct before, it allows shareholders to answer some questions that they may have. Or they may ask some questions and say, hey, hold off till tomorrow, like we'll show you some more stuff tomorrow. That is a possibility. Now, the other thing that we've got going on, I'm going to head on over to twistedvoxel.com. I'll throw a link for this for you guys down in the description. Let's just kind of go through their article, because they've got an interesting piece here about the Nintendo Direct maybe having been leaked from the network maintenance schedule. So it says the planned date for an upcoming Nintendo Direct may have been revealed via the console maker's network maintenance schedule. The network maintenance information section of Nintendo's official website has been updated with details regarding the schedule for upcoming maintenance, potentially revealing the date for the final Switch-focused Nintendo Direct. The aforementioned maintenance is set to happen on Tuesday, February 4th at 8 p.m. to Tuesday, February 25th, or February 4th, till that same date, till 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. So you get that 2-hour block where there's going to be maintenance on February 4th. As Family Boards member King has pointed out, 3 of the last 5 Nintendo Direct presentations were either on the same date or the day after scheduled network maintenance from Nintendo. The maintenance was held on September 12th, which was followed by a direct on the 13th. Later, there was another scheduled maintenance on September 14th, which was followed by a Nintendo Direct on the same day in 2023. More recently, a maintenance was held June 18th, 2024, which led to a Nintendo Direct happening on the same day. The aforementioned details can be verified by looking up all mentions of save data and posts from Twitter/X account Nin Status Bot. While there's no guarantee that the information does indicate Nintendo Direct may happen on the Tuesday, February 4th. They continued going on here. This isn't the first we've heard about They continued going on here. This isn't the first we've heard about a Nintendo Direct presentation scheduled for February 2025. During a recent episode of the XD News podcast, co-host Pedro Henrique Ludialipe, also known as Brazil on Family Boards, or PH Brazils we've talked about just a little bit before in this, talked about major announcement plan for an upcoming Direct presentation this month. He mentioned that the Nintendo Switch will get one final big game from Nintendo that is a new version of a beloved but somewhat niche franchise. Because of how it has been mentioned during the podcast, there was some confusion on whether the new game was a big game co-host Brazil has been referring to as the same as two individual titles. Brazil later took to Family Boards to clarify he was referring to a single new game during the podcast. So there it is. So this is where we talked about Peach Brazil saying that this is happening, and now he's teasing the game. There's been some talk that it could be something like Fire Emblem or Star Fox, kind of one last hurrah for Nintendo Switch during this presentation. Now he has just said that it's going to happen in February. He has not said anything about it being next week on the 4th. But with the investor meeting being on the 4th, with this particular, maintenance schedule being for the 4th as well, it could be that we could be seeing a Nintendo Direct next week, either on the 4th or the 5th, shortly after both of these events, the maintenance and the shareholders meeting happening. So at this point in the video though, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts down below on all this. When do you think we will see a Nintendo Direct? Because I think that February makes a lot of sense. We got to know what's going on for the last part of the Switch, and then they can kind of gear up for April for that Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, and then we got the experiences and things like that. So let me know in the comments as well, what do you guys want to know from this Nintendo Switch 2 experience? I'm very excited to be going. I'll be going on day 1 in New York, so we'll be there for the very first day. So, let me know what you guys want to know, and we'll try to do our best to cover that as best we can going out there. It's going to be pretty exciting. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, like this video, and I really do appreciate it. And until next time, catch you later.